Exactly, it is.
It's better to stay home in home.
Yes, yes, exactly. As like as some people that they do not have any special task to do, it is the best way to stay at home and do not go out. Great. How? What did you spend your week? Tell me about that, and after that we look at the topic.
Honestly, I was sick in
You
the
were sick. Uh
yes
huh. Mm-hmm.
most of the time,
And
but
mm-hmm.
it's going to be better.
Yes, it's going to be the things. I really hope so that you just getting better. And did you do the listening part, or you didn't have time, or you
Uh,
couldn't do that?
Honestly, I do the half of the test. As
So what was the result?
um, I didn't answer all of the questions. I
Mm-hmm.
missed the part four, I guess. Um, so it's better to do it again today.
Oh, okay, great, fantastic. So brilliant, fantastic. Thank you so much for just doing this part. Okay, great. Tell me, Barry, about the new topic that you sent. Um, I'm not very familiar to this topic. Could you please explain a little more about that, this part? Yeah, that
Yes,
is.
I was
Uh,
looking for an interesting topic to discuss in this lesson, in this
yes,
session, and
yes.
uh, uh, this title remind me about an experience that I have in my childhood. I remember
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
we have a special day in in our schools, and the school allow us to do all of the things in the school,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially, and we can also stay in the school at the midnight,
Uh-huh.
and it was
And
interesting
it was a
for me.
celebration. It was a kind of anniversary. What was it about exactly?
I'm not sure, but they say that this is a special day, and the students should uh,
Mm-hmm.
take care of the school, and
Mm-hmm.
all of the things. They replace the manager, replace the teachers with the students, and allow
Mm-hmm.
them to teach to other persons.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, we can stay at school
Mm-hmm.
and sleep in the school in that special day.
Uh-huh.
So it was very
Uh,
interesting because uh, we can cook with other friends in the
mm-hmm.
school.
No, and you
What?
thought that it's an interesting topic. I mean, that interesting task to do. Yes, staying at home, communicate with your classmates,
Mhm.
and you can. What's up?
To explain the podcast, I
Mm-hmm.
can say that there is uh, a special school in the
Mm-hmm.
Thailand that let the students to manage the schools, and
Mm-hmm.
um, they can take care about the financial aspect of the school and buying the stuffs that they need. And
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, this school is for poor peoples,
Mm-hmm.
so they can pay the fee of the school
Mm-hmm.
by یادم رفت درخت کاشتن چی میشد خودشون نوشته بود
Planting trees.
planting trees, but it's too much because they need to plant 400 trees over a year. But most of the students in this school are very happy because they can feel that they do the real world stuff, the real world task,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a good experience for them to experience the real challenge
Mm-hmm.
and make them stronger.
Do you think it's a good idea to make students stronger with these kind of actions?
Um, Generally, I think that making the people responsible is
Mm-hmm.
good for them because uh, if they need the result, they have to do the task and involve themselves in doing stuff. So I think it is a good idea because it can help the student to be more responsible in their life.
Mm-hmm. More responsible for their life. Yes, exactly. In China, as I know, do you know the policy in China when they are at a school? I mean, the students.
No, I'm not familiar with China.
China, exactly. In China, with many states that I know that exactly. You have to. I mean that when you go to school as a student, and you must stay until 8, until 9, and even sometimes you eat your dinner with your classmates. You have got a break in actually when you have got a lunch, and also for 30 minutes at 3 you have got time to take a nap. And on the other hand, when you want to finish your task, and also the lesson is finished for that day, you must clean I mean, your class, and also just prepare it for next day. Do you think this kind of methodology isn't a little tough for those students at the age of between 11 to 14, 15?
Um, I think that this methodology should be in the way that make them responsible, but all of us know that we cannot expect them to do
Mm,
the real things and need some
mm,
mentors
mm-hmm.
to help them to do these
Yes,
steps.
yes.
Uh, but this trying to do some real world things
Mm-hmm.
is very cool because what we know that in Iran most of the education is just theoretical and
Mm-hmm.
we do not do anything practical. And
Sure.
I think a balance between these two things can be useful.
Mm-hmm. You know, the general, I mean that the commentator and a specialist in this field, because your topic is about, the most interesting time that most students and classmates are, all of them are together, and they must stay in a special days for some specific task maybe, and they can communicate, and they can have a kind of a ceremony maybe, or maybe they will learn some things and they want to take the responsibility. But I mean, the Mr. Specialist said that we have got two form of education. The first one belongs to East, and the first one of them is belong to East, and one of them belongs to West, as we talked, I think, before. But generally, when you look at the form of the education and the systems, uh, to such a kind of country like China, or your country, you can understand that being hard on someone, or get hard on someone, will have got some advantages and disadvantages. Tell me about the form of the advantages and disadvantages, as like as explained about the China education system. Do you think there must be some advantages and disadvantages? As an example, I said that about the form of the education in China. Do you think, can you tell me about the advantages and disadvantages?
Uh, I think I'm not really sure about the difference between these two kind of education, but I think that in the East, people really focus on the being responsible and being part of the society, and we can see that in China especially. They try to teach to the children, to kids, to be a part of group and do all of these things uh, as a part of the groups and be responsible about this task. And
Yeah,
I can understand it because they have a large amount of people,
yeah,
about 1 billion people in this country. Uh, but I think that this kind of education can reduce the level of innovation in, in the kids' life because
yeah,
they just need to focus on the task and responsibilities instead of innovating anything.
yes.
But I think that the people in the West uh, are they are focused on the freedom of the people, freedom of the kids, and they allow them to do the things that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, I think that we can see a lots of people that they do not do any important things in their life,
Yeah.
and they're free to enjoy their life instead of doing important tasks.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, we all know that these two kind of education can have
Mm-hmm.
some advantages, but uh, it can be a balance between them, and
Mm-hmm.
it can
Balance
be
between
this,
them.
this
Do you
but
think it is possible to have a
uh,
balance between them? I mean, that using the technical method of the West and East and just combine them and making a new one?
yes, of course it can, but it is very depends on the culture of the country because uh, in a special period of time, the country need a special kind of people to do
Mm-hmm.
the.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to build the things that they want, and um, we will normalize the people at the school.
In your mindset, in your side, which one do you think is in some situation get the person self-independent? I mean that definitely we everybody wants their children to be self-independent and to be independent person. And nowadays is one of the important things in our society. Which methodology or strategy do you think it is okay and it works more than others, more than the other one
I
to be
think the culture
independent?
of the West is more focused on the being
Mm-hmm.
independent instead of culture of the East. But I think that we need to practice on team working,
Mm-hmm.
especially Iran, because we are far from each other and we cannot do the things together. But I think that I really like the West education instead of the East, but it have some problem to solve.
So
So
you prefer West education? Mm-hmm.
Yes. But I think that the problem in Iran is that our education is not practical. We do not do anything in real world, and I think it's because of the economical situation in Iran, because testing the things in real world needs more money to spend. uh, and we cannot take care of it because it needs more money, and the
Mm-hmm.
government not pay anything to the schools.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That's it. That's it.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, um, have you connected? Have you had a good connection with your friends? I mean, your classmates still, or do you have a connection still with each other, or no, you do not have any connection?
A few of them, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was it's just a 3 person, I guess.
Three persons, and actually, you are the same. I mean, that in your field, or they are in different fields.
Um, all of them are in different fields because
Different fields,
most
yes.
of them changed their ideas and their interest after the high school.
Mm-hmm.
So, and especially after the university.
Yeah.
they I just have a one coworker that is my classmate, and
Oh, great.
I know yes, I'm not sure about
And
the
do you
rest.
have a do you have a good connection to each other, or I mean that I mean as a close friend?
Yes, and uh, he's my close friend, but it is not very close, and
Mm,
but,
yes, of course.
but
Mustn't
we
be.
see each other
Yes.
uh, frequently.
Uh, you know, the society, when you just look at the Japanese system and education, and also China's Chinese education system, سیستم تعلیم و تربیت مدارس چینی, it is very obvious that you can see that they focus on their kind of tasks that they will see the result. I mean, when you look at the education in West, although the technology is coming for them, you're definitely have got some skeptical about the form of the result about all students. As far as I know, the most majority of I mean the population of the people in a population of USA are coming from different countries, uh, Arab, Iranian, I mean Mexico, Mexican, sorry. They just you can see the different variety of people that you can imagine that their children will be sitting next to your children. You have to expect that. So definitely the different cultures will be effect on your children. Um, for example, I have got a friend in Germany. She said that, and she was complaining about one situation happened to her son, and she said that I cannot understand the school that my son goes because always they advertise and they just set up kind of classes for those people that they have got a same I mean same similar um, emotions to the same sex. I mean that bisexual and those kind of things. And it is very a question mark for her that why a kind of a school must advertise those kind of things because maybe I do not want it. It is not just my word and my complaint. It is even other parents would be complain about this form of the advertising and having a class. Um, I think the culture is very effective. We are together when we just go to a school and we spending time together. We have the same culture. When you look at the form of the China, I think, and also Japan, in my opinion, you can see some kind of successful and successful result consequences for many students. For example, if it is a kind of policy I know in Japan, if for example a student for a kind of accident fall down, no one must help the student. He must stand up by themselves. No one are allowed to help them. It shows that from the beginning they help their uh, children to do not give up. For example, when they across the street, they must respect to the drivers when they passed, and they just show that I really admire, I really you care about your job, and you stopped for me, and I pass. Some kind of they will understand the situation, and I mean, it isn't far from Western education system. And I think those will help us to be independent. Don't you think?
Um, I think it's very too much to not allow other person to help his uh, someone that uh, has fallen,
Mm-hmm.
but it can be a kind of culture to help each other in this kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm really not sure that I really think that in the cultures like Japan, uh, people teach to do the things in as a team member instead
Mm-hmm.
of being self independent.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Pario, do you agree with my sentences? When we finish our education and we get diploma, when we enter to university, we understand how to communicate. I mean that it is hard for us at the beginning to communicate with the same sex or opposite sex. Do you agree with my sentence or not?
I think that the first years of the university is especially for making some connections with the people
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
uh, you think that they cannot they can be your future co-workers,
Mhm.
and um I think that we forgot lots of the things that we learn in high school and school especially, and when we enter the university.
Mhm.
But yes, I agree with you.
In this article, I don't know, you have got my desktop or not. Said that in class discussion in the West have been driven by ongoing communication between the students and the teacher, there is a constant flow of dialogue that stimulates both problem solving and communication skills. On the other hand, in the East, the full responsibility of what the students can learn and to what extent they understand the material depends on the teacher, as there is no dialogue between the two sides, and often the question asked in class or answered by the teacher himself. Of course, this is a highly speculative model, as in today's educational environment in the Balkans, many schools and universities are changing their teaching methods, adopting more modern ones, and trying to think out of the box. Uh, think out of the box is it's a kind of expression that you mean that you can you mustn't be narrow-minded
Think
when
another
it
way,
comes. Uh, what?
thinking in another way.
Yes, thinking in another way, yes. When it comes down to classroom activity, nevertheless, in general, the West and the East can represent two sides of a coin, completely different one another. As we talk, exactly the form of the education and culture are different. The society never ever wants to adapt itself with the form of the and the education of system in our even in our country. When you just at a school, you have got a kind of behavior. When you go to home, when you go home and just stay with your parents, there are another column, different behaviors you can expect. So you can see in some situations there are some conflicts between two sides. Can you see that, for example, the form of communication nowadays between teenagers and youngers are better than the last generation? Do you know why in Iran?
Yeah, I think that we save our knowledge and the dialogues in the
Mm,
online stores, and
mm,
you can see that uh, the single point of truth help the people to
mhm,
be familiar with the type of dialogue of each generation.
mhm,
By reading this text on the internet, uh, you got a common knowledge and common way to uh, have discussion with others, and
yeah,
I think that it can help the people to be uh, to be same page with the other generations. You know.
mhm. Yes, exactly. Perception of education, it's written, education is a cultural necessity for developing a stable society. It means that the form, exactly depends on the stable society. Uh, they want to make the better society for their country. Understanding the material, critically evaluating um, uh, the material, understanding the material. I'm not sure what it's talking about. What do you think about this part? Understanding the material, critically evaluating.
Critically evaluating is not familiar with me for me, but I think that uh, in each field you have some materials. It can
Mm-hmm.
be real materials or uh, just virtual one, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to be familiar with these materials to combine them and they build something new.
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh,
the
mm-hmm.
the education can be a good opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to uh, introduce these kind of materials to you to help you to live in a special field.
Mhm. Um, Understanding the material, as you said, that yes, it is correct, but critically evaluating, it means that when they want to communicate about the subject, the teacher just want to blow up a subject for all the students at class. It could be, you know, in technical field, or you know, even in public field, non-technical. Uh, they will learn how to evaluate the situation when they are in a critical situation, when they cannot solve the problem, when they are in a problem, face the problem, they will learn how to evaluate that. We do not have it in our education system, and I think it is very important how to evaluate some things. Open discussion, we do not have it at all in our system at all. I haven't seen it, and I do not know. I'm not sure about this. You know, this new system education that we have or not. I don't think so. But in the S, memorizing the material, as you said, that always we just had some kind of things to memorize. Uh, Dini, I don't know. Lots of things, adabiyat, literature. We had to save them. We had to save poem loss. Hafiz, Sadi, Maulana, and do you think were they helpful for all the students, or they were pointless? Hello,
I lost your voice for a sec.
sorry, sorry. I just said that about memorizing the material. I said that. Do you think, as we read lots of kind of books, that we had to save them? Do you think, what is the point? I mean, that don't you think that we must eliminate them from our school?
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of person that cannot memorize the things very easily. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
big in memorizing the things, but I think that most of the people don't know that what they need in the future, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, for some kind of materials, it's necessary to memorize because
Mm-hmm.
don't have a good time to find and catch them in future,
Mm-hmm.
and in some kind of scenarios and situations, you
Mm-hmm.
need uh, uh, have discussion with other peoples about the
Mm-hmm.
topics that is not your field, but it's necessary to have a good discussion about
Mm-hmm.
something. So it's better to have a minimum knowledge
Mm-hmm.
about basic topics,
Yeah.
basic topics.
Basic
Uh,
topics, yes.
yes, and I think that it is necessary to check the kids with this kind of things to find out about uh, the talents
Mm-hmm.
in their mind, because if you do not test the people with memorizing something or math or physics and this kind of things, you cannot find out the talents of the people. So it's necessary to challenge them with
Mm-hmm.
memorizing something with them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Challenge
But,
them. Yes. Exactly.
but I think that uh, for kind of people like me, it is very hard to memorize something,
Mm-hmm.
especially things that you do not have any reason to memorize these things.
Mm-hmm.
The problem about this kind of education is that
Mm-hmm.
if uh, you lost your mark if you
Mm-hmm.
can memorize the things that they want. I think that it should change because it's saw all of the people in in the same way, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yes, in the same way. Yeah, exactly. The another one is highly competitive. Do you think it is a good? I mean that. Do you like this form? Do you like this one of the method highly competitive in East? We have got it, but in the West we do not have it.
I know that there are two types of people, and in half of the people, they do not like to competitive with other peoples, and
Mm-hmm.
they and I know that uh, the good way is to competitive with
Mm-hmm.
themselves instead of other people. And I know that peoples have uh, different talents and
Mm-hmm.
different powers.
Mm-hmm.
So whether to do not competitive all of the people with each other because they are different, you know.
So, do you think? I want you to tell me that which one is necessary, which one we can eliminate it. Memorizing material, as you said, that it needs to eliminate it from our education system. What about highly competitive? Do you think that it
I
must be or mustn't be?
I think that in general we should not competitive all of the students with each other, but
Mm-hmm.
we can have some opportunities for the
Mm-hmm.
people that they want to competitive with each other, and if
Mm-hmm.
they to be in this kind of games or
Mm-hmm.
situation, they can register for it and
Mm-hmm.
experience it for a while.
Mm-hmm. Focus on examination and grades. What do you think about this part, East education system? Focus on examination and grades.
Um, I think this topic is very discussed in our society because all of us know the topics like concours.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, all
Uh,
of us feel this pain, and we know that it is not a good idea to have a grade and a same grade for all of the people.
mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
because that, I know that nowadays we remove some marks
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the schools and replace it with other kind of levels.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not enough because I really suggest that when we examine someone, we design some questions that the sum of the marks are some numbers like 20. But I think that it should be different because we can have lots of questions that it should
Mm-hmm.
be higher than 20,
Mm-hmm.
but someone ask the questions and reach the 20, it should be best, it should be good. And
Mm-hmm.
because I think that it is necessary to see the difference between peoples.
Mm-hmm.
Do not examine all of the people in the same way.
Mm-hmm. And do not forget about the pressure from your parents that puts you on the pressure to have have the best or brilliant mark. Yeah.
Yes, and we can feel that we are
Yes.
perfectionists because of that. And I saw lots of people that damage themselves and
Yes.
have suicide because of this pressure.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So focus on examination and grades. It must be not as much as nowadays we can see that, because they just evaluate you on the basis of your marks that you get from the school, unfortunately. And I want to talk about attitudes towards the students that in the West, creativity and independent thinking are highly encouraged. Creativity and independent, right now, as you mentioned, it said that the West education systems really learn the students how to be independent, as you mentioned it. Mistakes are treated in a positive manner. The students are not afraid to do mistakes as they can learn from them and do better next time. Complementing the students when they perform well or excel. They just encourage the people, encourage the students in front of their parents, in front of others, in some kind of ceremony, and they admire those students. They just give them some bonuses, maybe. Uh, all the things that you can see, they are the best, perfect. But what about in the East strictly followed rules? It is the attitude of students. Actually, we just want to read it. Strictly follow the rules. Conformity is encouraged, means that always must be the top. Criticism is used as a way to encourage students to perform better. Can you give your opinion about criticism?
Hmm. Criticism, I forgot the meaning of it.
Criticism, for example, when you criticize a movie, we have got some kind of people that they criticize your behavior, your personality. Maybe it is bad in some situation, maybe it is good. We have got some people that their job is criticizing a movie, and they are very famous. For example, they criticize the movie in many parts
Like
about the character. Yes. Okay. Great. Yes.
um, I think it is very من فکر کنم معنیش نقد میشه.
Yes. Exactly. It is the.
It's a
It is
feedback
the.
دادن.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm not sure why they do not use feedback instead of criticism.
Because
But
most of the times they put you under pressure. In at a school, always they criticize you in a bad way, in not a positive way. Feedback, it just give you some kind of result of your done. For example, you have done those kind of, it is the result. You must do the best if you want to catch the best. But criticizing means that always, in some situations, the teacher or the parents humiliate you in front of other people.
um, I think it can be. It is honestly it is clearly wrong, as you say.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes.
Uh, but we all know that we need some feedbacks
Hmm.
from our teacher and other people to
Yes.
improve our behaviors. But I'm not sure about the foreign countries, but I know that there is no a good way uh, to give some feedbacks to you about your
Mm.
behavior in our schools. And
Mm.
we know that at the end you can uh, go to the manager's room and he talks to you, she talks to you about your behavior, and it is
Mhm.
not very useful because uh, it is very late, and most of the times is in the time that you do something wrong, and I think the feedback should be said when uh, it feedback should be said frequently in a special
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
Uh, Even when you do the things successfully,
Uh-huh.
and it show that they saw you and saw your results and metrics, and
Mhm.
it can be a meaning to show that we saw you, you have we focus on you, we have the control, and it is a way to uh, show the control to someone.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure about the foreign countries.
No, we're talking about our country. We do not want to because we do not know them. We're talking about so our own experience that we had in the past in some part of our task that we didn't do that, or we were unable to do it to do them perfectly. Always we had criticized by many people around us. And I just ask you about your own experience, that you had this such a kind of experience or not.
I was a good child in the school, because so I didn't criticizing me uh,
Yes.
anytime.
Yes.
But I know that we have some psychologists in the schools, but they are
Really? Fabulous.
I, yes, but they are not very
Professional.
educated, and they're not professional. Yes, but I hear from some child that they think they say that they sent the child to the psychologist, but he do the worst things to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
They are not
Yes.
familiar with the child and the
Yes.
challenges.
Yes.
But it's
Critics.
very,
Yes. Yeah. It was
it's
what?
it is better than the before,
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't
Yes.
saw any psychologists in the schools.
Yes. Instead of that, they put mullah in. They just set a chair for them in at a school. It is the kind of obligation that they must be, and it's getting worse. Getting worse. Um, can you see my desktop? Even though that the education in the West provides opportunities for creative thinking, taking responsibility, and analytical skills, in some cases, the teacher may use these as an excuse to avoid teaching the material. Uh-huh. Avoiding further clarification on the subject, or this for the sake of independent learning. On the other hand, on the East, where the students are seen as receivers of the knowledge and the teachers are as main providers, that can lead to a hostile environment for the students as they fail to develop independent thinking or thinking initiative. They, I mean that thinking positively. They may depend on someone to hand them the rules. Nevertheless, according to the Eurostate's statistics, only around 35% of the population in the UK and Romania speak a foreign language, while in Bulgaria, 50%, half of the population speaks another language. In Germany, 78%. That is relevant example of how the pre-perception of the education can be refuted, and how every case is specified and stands on its own. All in all, both education systems can be improved for better or for worse. They offer different alternatives and perspectives. It was very interesting for me, doesn't it?
Yes, and I think that this kind of education is very related to the people that the government needs. And it is very depends on the culture, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In this kind of countries, they need special peoples to handle some tasks, so they change the education system
Mm-hmm.
to this kind of people.
Yes, exactly. But for example, in our country, in some kind of levels of school, that you have to read Arabic. I mean, Arabic it is necessary, and also you can see English. But do you think why this education system insists on learning a language, new language that sometimes for some students is very hard to learn? Why they insist on, and what is the necessity? There is. Do we have any alternative for that? Do you think?
I think the English is not very hard for people to learn, but
Mhm.
uh, I think the point of learning some foreign language
Mhm.
is the opportunity to to find a job in these cultures.
Mhm.
So it is pointless to learn Arabic, for example. And I hear that they wanna teach France in
Yes.
some of the schools. So I think that we do not have any opportunities to
Mhm.
find a job in France or being in communication with France.
Yes, communication with friends. We do not have any communication. Of course, we do not have any communication with many countries. I mean, is that possible? Do you think we can make it possible for some students that they do not have any talent in learning a new language? They learn any other things, and if it is possible, what do you think is the alternative for that?
Alternative for learning foreign language.
Yes, yes. For example, I saw and I can see nowadays many students they do not have any talent or interest to learn a new language, even English. Um, in some cases, there are many reasons, but if but there is no any alternative for them. For example, they can learn other things. Okay, for example, I don't know, lots of fields that we have got, but they do not have, there are some limitation. Uh, it is my question that, and it is a question mark, not just asking you for myself, that is that possible to have any alternative?
Um, Honestly, no. But I saw for people like me, I should have a good reason to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's maybe because they are not in the situation that feel the needing to
Mm-hmm.
uh, learn another language.
Yes.
کنم من جمله اشتباه
Yes.
گفتم.
Yes, a little. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if we try to build a situation to
Mm-hmm.
watching for example, an English movie
Mm-hmm.
or being in touch with some foreign people, it is
Mm-hmm.
more reasonable to uh, learn a new language.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, for example, I studied at private school when I was in primary. And apart from learning English, that was a lesson. Our boss at the school wanted to learn another language that was Germany, and it was a kind of bonus or extra in that time. And he invited a very professional teacher that he could teach Germany perfectly. But you cannot imagine that after it was a private school, I mean that the people, were educated. In some cases, they're coming in a form of financial supports in the best way. But unfortunately, after 5 sessions, he left the school and he never ever come back. So that I cannot control them, and they do not want to learn. In some cases you can see the form of the education. There must be some alternatives for them. I mean that, for example, how to cook, maybe. For some people, they want to learn cooking. It is a good opportunity. For some people, that they want to, I don't know, painting, how to paint. Extra. I mean, lessons that we can set up in our school. Those alternatives will help us and will help students to have a creative mind, if I'm not wrong. Do you think it is correct?
Yes, I think that it is. I think that the people need some uh, good reasons to
Mm-hmm.
spend time on something, and uh, if you do not like anything and
Mm-hmm.
do not have any good reason and needs to learning something, it
Mm-hmm.
is very rational to not spend time on it.
Mm-hmm.
You have a limited uh, time every day, and you wanna spend this time in the way that you enjoy or solving your problems. So
Mm-hmm.
it is,
Uh,
I think it's very reasonable to
mm-hmm.
do not like a special field.
Harriet, how old were you when you started programming?
Um, Honestly, I really like some other fields, um,
Mm-hmm.
but I do programming as a hobby when I
Mm-hmm.
was in high school, and I really like to build products
Mm-hmm.
and uh, this love to making products
Mm-hmm.
forced me to learn programming, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember that I said this sentence, but uh, I really do not. I honestly, do not like programming. I like to build something and see
Mm-hmm.
the result. And but working in the field like nano or
Mm-hmm.
physics need
Mm-hmm.
some more tools and they are expensive.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
is very easier to work in programming field.
Uh-huh. Yes. So you just continued the programming apart from your field that it was your favorite, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you studied at university software engineering or other fields?
Um, no, my field was system design,
Uh-huh.
computer engineering, system design branch.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's okay. So there was a connection between your field and programming, yes? Or there wasn't any connection? I'm not sure about that.
The computer design is combination between hardware and software. So you
Uh-huh.
need
Uh-huh.
something about the electricity and
Mm-hmm.
soft design, and
Mm-hmm.
combine to build something. For example, in embedded systems.
Mm-hmm. 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 Great, fantastic. You know that the form of the education in our country is terrible. No one can correct it because the system doesn't want to correct it. And but it's still the most problem that I think In the past, it was the worst. Nowadays, it is better. The communication between students when they grow up. Actually, nowadays they have got a good communication because they can see each other in some kind of institutes. Boys and girls are coming and sitting next to each other when they are teenager, but in the past you couldn't see, or even rarely you could see that the communication widely um, happened or could happen between opposite sex, between, I mean, girls and boys. Uh, but the most one, I think, is nowadays the most important one. It is nowadays when they go to university, they have less problem. Do you think? Do you agree with my opinion?
Um, really think that the difference between the high school and university is a lot. But I think that this uh, kind of vision in Iran
Mm-hmm.
that they think that most of the girls that are in university
Mm-hmm.
they do not want to go to work after university. So uh, the problem for girls is more, I think. But honestly, I think that the girls uh, learn the lessons
Mm-hmm.
more strictly, and they listen more than boys. And but at the end, the professor said that you are not very important. I
Uh-huh.
hear these words
Oh.
lots of time.
And the professor said to girls that you are not important.
You are not gonna to be have job after university.
Mhm. And do you think it is effective for all the students that or classmates that when someone said that like that, definitely in future they won't get a job?
I think that most of the people
Hmm.
stop resisting uh,
Yes.
against the culture
Yes.
after a while, and we saw lots of boys and girls that at the end they live in the way that the culture wants. And
Yes.
uh, honestly, most of the people do not have enough energy to uh, be in the war with a lot of people, the
Hmm.
majority of the people.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's a big competition as we talk, when they just finish their education and when they graduated, there is a big competition between boys and girls to find a job, and mostly because of the culture and other problems, you can see that when they apply for some jobs, in some situations, the initiatives or even human HR, human resource, always want to misuse or abuse girls. For example, salary less than boys, hardworking, more than boys. You must sometimes stay. Even boys, they can leave their job sooner, but I see that some girls they must stay in their jobs, even extra work. And I can understand, there is a big competition, and it is not a fair competition, don't you
I,
think?
I think that it is completely pointless competition because if you want to do something, just do it. And it is
Yes.
pointless when you want to be in competition with someone else that it is not completely related to you.
Hmm.
And there is no point, and uh, you do not earn anything in this competition. It is completely pointless.
Yes, exactly. You're right. It is pointless.
I think that you need to spend your time and your energy on the more important things.
Yes, exactly. But you can see that, the people are different. For example, maybe it is not important. You just do, and you have got a target, and you do whatever you want, even if other people criticize you in a hard way, from maybe the opposite sex or even the same sex. I mean that from your classmates, girls, or even your professor. You do whatever you want, but for some girls it is different. Majority of them, they just are emotional, and they think that there must be some motivation to motivate them and improve, uh, because maybe they are girls and they are weaker than boys. Maybe it is a kind of feelings that they transfer the society, transferred to those bunch of girls, that because you are woman, you are girl, it is natural, you are weaker and you need support, and this support needs some kind of opposite sex. I mean, men can support you. You are not unable to support yourself. For example, you can see that it's a society, it is very common. But if they learn that this situation is kind of temporary, and it is not contemporary, you will change your life. And in some situation you can see abroad, most people, they out of country, abroad, some girls are more successful than they are in Iran. As like as you want to immigrate to another country. That was great. Thank you so much. ببین
thank
یک هفته که نمیای، ببین چه جوری میشه. غلطای در واقع گرامریت بیشتر میشه. یعنی اون رنج استاتیکس.
من نمیتونم تمرکز کنم.
آها. الان فعلا خب پس you're not okay. So great. I just
آره خیلی افتضاح بودم، الان یه ذره بهتر شدم.
oh sorry, I'm sorry for that. That's okay. I do apologize. And I really appreciate that you're coming to class. And will you come on tomorrow, or you cannot come?
میام حتما، سعی میکنم بیام چون فاصلهش زیاد میشه.
مرسی حتما. الان اگرم خودتون مساعد نبود میتونیم بندازیم وسط هفته، اگر تایم داشته باشم حتما در خدمتتون هستم، نگران اون نباشید. مرسی. Thank you so much and
خیلی
have a great
ممنونم.
time. Have a great time. See you.
بای.
Bye bye.